Now, with Manchester United about to be sold to the highest bidder, we take a look now at some of the options on the table.
Tommy, how are the old clothes going? Any chance you'll be the one to
I think
come up?
Leeds will be more likely to buy them than Man United.
Here to give us the latest are former Dublin footballer and podcaster Paddy Andrews and journalist Gavan Cooney. Thank you both so much for being with us this morning. Come here to me. This is fascinating because everything that's going on in the Premier League, I want E to do a reality TV show on it. It's like the Kardashians. Why are the Glazers, who are very much a hated figures in Manchester, why are they selling? Because people don't like them?
No, I don't think. I mean, people have hated them since they've arrived in 2005. So, I mean, they've never been too worried about the opinions of Manchester United fans. They seem to be selling because they feel there's not much more money to be made out of this thing, to be honest, because they were announced a couple of weeks after Liverpool were announced to be going up for sale. United dived in there and said, oh, I know, we might sell up as well. So, obviously, we'll remember the whole convulsions around the European Super League from a couple of years ago, which the Glazers were involved in, well, Manchester United were involved in the scheming around. So perhaps the Glazers are now looking at it and saying, that was our last chance to add even more value to this thing. So let's sell up. And
just to put the money into perspective, as to because JP McManus and John Magner, they sold a big chunk to the Glazers back in 2005. Talk about how much they bought the club for and how much they might be selling the club for. What are we at here, Gavin?
Yeah, I think they buy it for around 250 million and the asking price at the moment is 6 billion.
It's insane.
It's a good return.
It's a good
return.
And they have put nothing really into it either, which is the remarkable
Well, they've
thing.
taken money out. Between, you know, interest payments and directors' fees, they've taken over $1 billion out since 2005.
So Liverpool are up for sale as well. There's all this talk with Manchester City at the minute and all the fines and whatever they might be under. But from Manchester United point of view, like, they could go for an extortion. You mentioned 6 billion. There's talking even up to 10 billion if there's a bidding war for this.
Yeah,
so who's in the running?
So there's only one person on the record as saying that they want to buy the club, and that's Jim Ratcliffe, who is Britain's richest man. He's the founder of the chemical company Ineos.
I mean, know him real well. It's great. It's always in the papers.
So he's confirmed there's a soft deadline in the words of the industry for bids tomorrow. And so the other name that has been linked is the name of Qatar, that the Qatari group might come in and buy the group. And there's also some rumours about Elon Musk, although it's unbelievably hard to take anything related to Musk seriously.
Not as credible.
We'll have to see who comes out of it.
Leak.
Of
course. So if Qatar already own PSG, don't they, at the minute? Paris Saint-Germain. So they could potentially put in a bid to have a team in the Premier League. Because who owned Man City then?
Abu Dhabi. But hold on, that means that they can't play each other, right? Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United wouldn't be allowed to play each other because they're the same people.
You would think that, but this has already happened with the Red Bull clubs. We were saying Red Bull, Salzburg in the Champions League, and Leipzig. They've played each other in the Champions League.
But you're not meant to be allowed.
You're not meant to. And if this deal goes through, from what we're seeing, and like I said, we don't know for certain yet, Qatar would own arguably two of the biggest clubs in Europe, playing in the biggest competition in the Champions League. So there's loads of different moral dilemmas here. That's not really front and centre. No surprise there. It's about, like, football, the romance is kind of long gone out of football. It's seen as a business, as an industry, and that's why someone like Qatar is interested in buying a club of Manchester United stature. They're not doing it for, you know, they love the game. They're doing it as sports washing. And this term that has become so front and centre over the last number of years, this has been happening for years and decades. It's just become far more prevalent now. And Qatar potentially buying one of the biggest sporting franchises in the world is just the latest piece of that. And the reaction, we were chatting off air, for the majority of supporters, they don't really care. They see this, like, Saudi Arabia bought Newcastle only a year ago. Mohammed bin Salman, the human rights atrocities there, and the Newcastle fans in their first home game turned up dressed as sheikhs. You know, they'd won the lottery in their eyes. They don't really care where the money comes from.
And they're flying in the league.
And they're flying. Newcastle will be competing to win Premier Leagues. They'll probably qualify for the Champions League in the next couple of years. That's why the fans don't care. That's why sports washing, it does work.
Well, what exactly, like, let's explain exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So it's happening an awful lot at the minute. It's in golf, it's in everything.
Sports washing is just, it's a marketing campaign. These entities or organisations, or in this case a country, buys or sponsors a popular sports franchise, whether it's golf, it's Manchester United in this case, and they clean their image by being associated with a brand like Manchester United.
Millions of people love them.
Man United, football's the biggest sport in the world, the global game. Man United are one of its most famous, most storied clubs. And Qatar, by Qatar sponsoring or owning Manchester United outright, they're banking that when people think of Qatar, they're not thinking of human rights atrocities or discrimination or any of the more nefarious aspects of Qatari society. They're thinking of, oh, well, they own my favourite sports team.
But it is not just in football. It would not just be Manchester United if a Qatari sovereign country came over, took them over. Like, we're seeing it in golf, we're seeing it in Formula One, we're seeing it in all sports. But if it was to happen to Manchester United, like, the Premier League aren't going to stop this, Gavan, are they? Like, it's into their right interest.
I mean, they did seem to try and stop the Saudi Newcastle deal for a while, and the pressure came on from Boris Johnson and like the English political establishment.
Really?
Thinking,
So the government even got behind it?
Well, obviously they have, you know, trade relations in certain industries with the Saudis, and Boris Johnson was just like, you know, it'd be good if this could happen.
So even though the Premier League are investigating Manchester City for exactly what could happen if Qatar buy Manchester United, the sale could still go ahead.
It could. I mean, the rules aren't robust enough there to stop it. So look, I mean, there's still a long way to go in this story. It's always hard to disentangle the fact from the spin when there's different bidders entering, but the deadline obviously is tomorrow, and we'll see.
Elon Musk coming down in a Tesla.
The money at stake here, that's ultimately what's going to drive this decision.
Like $6 billion. Like,
morality went out of football a long time ago.
For Manchester United supporters out there watching this morning, what would you think? Would you be happy enough? Don't care who's going to come in. You could buy Mbappe, you could buy whoever you want. We'd love to hear from you. 0896 111 111.